there! It's your old buddy Dan back from Beach Church with another message. First of all, as always, want to thank the good people at Beach Church for doing what they do to allow us to stand on this platform and deliver these words, especially Pastor Jimmy, who does such a great job of leading that body. We just thank all of y'all for all that you do. Well, today we're in Ezekiel 43 to 45, and in these chapters we get a description of a temple that no one has ever seen even to this day. And we might presume that this is the third temple to be built in Jerusalem one day in the future, whether we will see that temple or not within our lifetime. And along with a description of this temple, Ezekiel gives a set of instructions, the likes of which we have not seen since the book of Leviticus. And there are lots of similarities between the instructions provided in Leviticus and the instructions here. Both of those texts provide a description of a priestly order. There is a structure to worship and rituals and sacrifice that often involves the blood of animals, but there are plenty of refinements here, starting with the presence of a figure dwelling in this temple we might regard as Jesus himself, who Ezekiel refers to as Lord. The Lord gives chapters of instructions clarifying that in this new temple, things will change. And really, if you think about it, things need to change at this point. Israel and Judah have fallen, and not for bad reason. God and his people have had a hard time under the previous covenants, and it's not going to get any easier for the time being. But for the time being, the instructions include guidance that a common Levite will no longer be worthy to serve the Lord as priests. Only descendants of Zadok are chosen for this role. And we might think of this as an extension of another piece of guidance that is given about circumcised and uncircumcised hearts. Circumcised hearts are considered a true measure of righteousness. Circumcision, as Paul describes in Galatians, is not just a physical thing, it is a heart thing. And the heart is where true righteousness is derived, not some physical thing that we establish on our bodies. There are ordinances given for princes who will have special access to these facilities. And while priests are appointed judges to the people, we presume that the prince has delegated the authority to govern this new environment. We note a process given here for ritualistic sacrifices, and this process is rather interesting to explore in light of what we know about true Christianity as given to us by Jesus himself. Worship starts with a sin offering to cleanse the people of wrongdoing. And the interesting thing about that is just as Jesus was crucified outside the city, giving the ultimate sin offering, this sin offering is to be completed outside of the temple. After the sin offering, there is a burnt offering to be made. And the burnt offering involves an animal which is fully consumed by fire. And just as that animal is fully consumed by fire, I think you'll agree that we as believers are to be fully consumed by the fire of the Holy Spirit. So you can see the analogy between our lives as Christian and the burnt offering described here. Only then does Ezekiel permit the peace offering, and the peace offering is an offering that is shared between believers and priests under the fellowship of God himself. And I think that priest offering may be symbolized in what we experience in the Eucharist. Of course, all of this is symbolic of what is to come. Ezekiel couldn't have imagined that Jesus would come and dwell among us and would sacrifice himself for our salvation. And similarly, it's hard for us even to really grasp the future that Ezekiel describes here. I think Paul sums it up best in Corinthians when he quotes Isaiah, both of whom agree that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. Well, that's all for today. I appreciate the time and attention you've given me to deliver this message, and I pray that you receive it with God's